After watching the film, just what were your thoughts on the offense?
Just a lot of self-inflicted wounds. Plenty of things. Had 9 explosive plays. We could move the ball in chunks at times. Just critical error. Critical error in really unfortunate times. And I think that's obvious to everybody that watched the game, that was a part of the game. From a fan to a coach. But just a lot of self-inflicted critical error that we've got to clean up before we go play Saturday.
What's the first order of business to get that stuff cleaned up?
Details. Just details. Knowing that everything that we do, there's a reason. We come out here and we do ball security every single day. Why? So we keep our wrist up, we rub the number off, and we keep 2 hands of contact so we don't put the ball on the ground. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to run polish. And we got to make sure the ball doesn't go on the ground, but just details. Knowing that everything that we do, there's a reason and there's a purpose. Okay, and we got to make sure that every one of those drills, regardless of how monotonous, that we execute them like our lives are on the line. Because we did not do that, and our lives were on the line. And it's everybody in the organization, myself, our football team, every fan, everybody that's proud to be a part of this program. We got to make sure that in practice that we're doing the things that it takes, so when we go out there on game day, we can produce.
You feel like the team was a little bit too excited?
I think that's part of it. It's probably the most energetic pregame warm-up. I think that's, for me especially, the best home environment I've ever been a part of. And I think that played into it. I think our kids, at the end of the day, I really feel like they love Coach Taggart so much, and they're so bought into what we're doing here that I think not only did you have the excitement and all the enthusiasm, that extra amount of energy and kind of the adrenaline dump that you're going to get, but I think there's a lot of self-pressure, because we wanted to make sure this thing was right for Coach Tag, and I think all that kind of played into it. But again, it's a great learning lesson that we can have moving forward, because we're going to play in a lot of big games here, before it's all said and done.
How do you dial that back, or do you want to dial that back?
I think it's just emotional maturity. Especially being a part of a new program is something that doesn't just come naturally. You've got to, it's something that's built, it's something that's cultivated, it's something that is a part of your culture. And so for us, I think it's just the learning experience. I thought we'd have 10, 12 guys cramped just based on the mental energy that we wasted in warm-ups. Just the physical energy. Guys run around prancing, they're excited, they're ready to go. But to their credit, they hydrated, they did the things that we asked them to do. But just, I feel like, again, it's a great lesson. The only way to really fail at this whole deal is to not learn anything from Monday night. As long as we can fail forward and find a way to correct the issues we had, I feel like in the future we'll handle that better.
Did you feel schematically anything that you guys were doing maybe need to readdress?
Yeah, you always do that. As a football coach, you always hate yourself. Anytime you lose, the first person you blame is yourself. I think that's what every football coach in America would do in that situation. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you second guess, but that's not going to make anybody better. Again, you identify your shortcomings, your mistakes, do everything you can to fix it. All right, then you go forward and try to fix it the next week.
How can the offensive line get better?
You know what? At the end of the day, when we were targeted correctly, and again, I think I mentioned that in our press conference before, is those guys move around a lot. They did, as always, some things that are a little bit outside of the box in terms of fronts, setting fronts, moving guys around, moves, stems. When we were targeted right, we were okay. When we weren't targeted right, when they did something, where we were playing with pace, we didn't execute great. But I think, again, those are all problems that each week, you'll have little things that you just learn from, you keep moving forward, and then as the system grows, as our kids get more comfortable with doing what we're doing, I think the finished product will be a lot better.
How did DeAndre grade up?
He did some really good things. I think early in the football game, he played probably above expectation. I think later in the football game, as we got behind and he started to press and try to really, and that's one of the things that you always talk about with those guys. There's no such thing as a 14-point play. There's no such thing as a 17-point play. We got to make sure that we take what's in front of us, take nice, easy completions when they give them to us. I just thought as the game went on, and we got a little bit more behind, he just started to press. I think as long as he plays with inside himself, kind of what you saw in the first half in terms of how well we were throwing the football, I think that's what you'll continue to see.
Obviously, quick turnaround can be difficult, but given kind of the circumstances, how that played out, you kind of embracing getting back out there and kind of get
absolutely.
Taste of the
yeah, I wish we played tomorrow. I wish we'd come out here, practice a little bit, and then go play. Because that's really, at the end of the day, the only way to do it. But these next couple days of practice are going to be really critically important to us, not just for Saturday, but moving forward. Because, again, you know, you don't learn a lot from the wins. You know, you learn a lot about yourself, and you learn a lot about what really matters to the football team, you know, when you get a butt whipping.
I'm sorry. Kalen had a really explosive play
Mm-hmm.
and didn't really get involved in much in the offense. Is that something?
Oh yeah, we definitely want him to be much more involved. So we, you know, I mean, he obviously, I mean, I think that's pretty obvious to everybody.